Welcome to Sidetracked Garage. In this video, we're going to be taking our 347 from the 80 f250 over there and going ahead and hopefully all the way finishing it up. So we've got the rotating assembly, pistons are in it. We just gapped the rings on the last video, and I've already got the pistons done. They're in, torqued down and everything. So now we're going to start working on the cam. Get that slid on in there. And this one should give me a little more chop, I think. Should be a little bit more aggressive cam. So, I'll go ahead and get that cleaned up and get it put in the 347. Hopefully get this thing done today. Alright, so this one here is the old cam that just came out of it. This is the one I just got for it. So you can kind of see where the little extra is going to come from. You can see that's got a little bit wider at the top than this one here. And you can kind of tell that this lube is higher. Just a little bit. So, I think we're going to end up with more power and some better sound out of it. Okay, so I went ahead and got the cam in it. Got everything all done here. Just need to bolt down the intake, put a water pump on it, put a pulley on the crank. Bolt these down and, well, first tighten the rockers, then bolt these down. And for an intake, I went ahead and ditched that one and went with the Blueprint dual plane air gap intake. Not exactly sure what the name of this one is, but I like it, and it actually port matches pretty decent. So, I'm going to go ahead, get that bolted down, get some stuff off of that one that I need, put over on this, and maybe even have this running today. Who knows? Could happen. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little something different with this thing than I have been doing before. You know the china walls right here in between the heads in the valley, usually you have a gasket to go on there. I'm going to skip the gasket because for some reason on this particular engine they do not seal. I don't know why. The red 86 Ford, but the intake on that used the gaskets, sealed perfectly fine. Don't know what the deal is. So, one other thing you can always do is just run a lot of silicone on there. So that's what I'm going to do, because obviously the gaskets for that don't always work. And plus I don't have any, so. I do have a whole tube of silicone though. That'll definitely work a lot better. Oh, and I got new bolts with my new intake, which came with the new gasket, intake gaskets. Didn't come with the gaskets for the valley, or china wall, china rail. People call them different things. I don't know what the actual thing is. So, whatever it is, I don't have gaskets for it anyway, and the gaskets never seal, so I'm not using them. We're going to see what we're working with as far as bolts. Very nice. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stack some silicone on this thing and lay that intake on top of there. Alright, then when the intake goes on, I'll just kind of blow it out and should fill in all the cracks. Get these bolts out of here, get them ready, and very carefully set this on top. Try to get it lined up before you set it on. You really don't want then slide it around. And I think that is 100% perfect. First try. Alright, so our 347 is coming along pretty good. As for the vacuum power brakes, usually I'll go in there, but that was a little bit smaller port and I don't have another one of these. This should still work fine. So, this thing's ready to set in, other than putting the flywheel and the clutch on it. But first, before I do that, I want to move over here to the truck because this frame is needing some attention. That paint's not that old, and it's gone on top of the frame, on the inside of the frame there. I don't know what's going on. It's called magic, which I guess is accurate because it just straight up disappeared. So I'm going to get that frame cleaned up, get the oil off of it, which I've already sprayed it, but it needs some more of that and some scrubbing. Get that bell housing cleaned up too. I'm going to get the wire wheel on there, and then get the painting. There we go. Now we got a nice freshly painted frame. I accidentally painted the ground, no big deal. So, I think it's time to go ahead and get that off the stand and get it dropped into here. And maybe have it running today. Who knows? Could happen. Right there. The head gasket landed on the wall. That's neat. Need a hook. First hole this time. Sure. Last time when I took the motor out, I used the middle hole, but that kind of hurt us forward a little bit. So that one will probably even out. I'm having to use a beam in the ceiling, you know, to lift your motor up and then you roll the truck forward. Not exactly ideal. Could be a lot easier. But I've said it before, last time I put this motor in, actually, work with what you got, you can spend more on what you're working on. Oh yeah, that's going to balance perfect. Ooh, I don't want to forget to seal the holes up in the crank again. Because that will make you think you got a rear main leak. And it ain't good, because then the motor's still got to come back out. I don't want to have to do that for at least a while. Okay. Get that off, clean the holes up. Flywheel. What am I after? Oh, 5/8. Just clean that up. So that way, if we see oil on this again, we'll know for certain. Which hopefully I never have to see the back of this motor ever again. Alright, got the 6 bolts all siliconed up. Get this flywheel on here, and definitely one thing you want to make absolutely sure of is that there is no oil on the surface of the flywheel, on the friction surface. Because, oh, that's heavier than I thought. Which we have. There is some on there. But what that does is makes your clutch slip a lot. Surprisingly, this one never did. This part's kind of nerve-wracking. Oh, the motor stopped rotating. Oh, I can't remember if these bolt holes are evenly spaced. Either I got it on the first try, or they are actually evenly spaced. Oh, this is tedious. Should have put those closer together. There we go. Always love getting that first one in there. Really hate having to chase this motor around. There we go. Alright, I need to find torque specs for the flywheel. Found it. Alright, now I gotta find an alignment to wherever that walked off to. Alright, everything's on the back of this thing, finally. So, it's time to take the blocks out from under the wheels of this thing and just give it a little push. After we get this up there, like out of sight, just about. You should only be able to see about the oil pan. Maybe. Let's see. Oil pan be about right there. Then we just set it in there. Hopefully, this thing, it's going to fight me, I just know it. Clean some stuff up before I get too ahead of myself. Really would like to be done with this today because I got another project for maybe next week, possibly, I don't know. We'll just have to see how this one goes. Oops, wrong way. There's a good chance we're going to be getting something else, something interesting that people seem to really love. Not going to say what yet. It'll be a surprise. You ever get to where you're just about to drop a motor into something and you feel like you're forgetting something? Me neither. Alright, that'll do it. So, what's about to happen now is we're about to have an engine in the front seat of a 1980 F250. If this thing takes off and just keeps on getting it, then yeah, that's what's going to happen. I've done this a couple of times, so I think we're going to be safe. Get this drain pan out of the way. I have to dump that into an approved container later. You definitely don't want to dump those on the ground. Then you got, chemicals and whatnot all over the place. Don't want to do that. Bad. Terrible. Alright. You hold on to that for a second. And hopefully it doesn't run me over. You know what? I'm just going to inch it forward by 18 inches, roughly. What's holding it? Get from the back though. I don't think I drove the emergency brake. Nope. Steering wheel is locked in the wrong direction. And one thing I do like about this truck, when you're just trying to push it forward, the steering wheel, you can turn it like an inch and it'll just lock when you turn the key off. A lot of vehicles, you gotta turn the wheel like a quarter turn before it locks, but this one you can just be like locked, which is great for what we're doing. But you gotta try to get it pushed forward somehow, or pull it, maybe. I've done it before. Rag on the bumper would be handy. What is going on? Is it in gear? It's in gear. That's weird. Not close enough. Might need to turn the wheel anyway. Stay put. Usually this thing will go to the left a little bit anyway. So if that happens, good. If not, then I have to just push it back out and start over. Yeah. The brake, it's just a little bit, touching a little bit on that passenger side drum. She's a little stiff. Just a little bit. Alright. Oh man, that thing's way off. I'm not worn out, you're worn out. Right now, if it's going to come forward anymore, we got to do a hard left. That's fine. No problem. Get this stuff out of the way. That. Okay, yeah, I still need to come forward more, so this is perfect opportunity. Turn the wheel. Maybe, possibly, hopefully get it where it needs to go. It was a lot easier getting this thing in here when I had the motor in it. Alright, we'll try that, see what that does. Go ahead and put the block on it. Can't have this thing running off. Alright. Scratching or scratched trim. So that doesn't work very good. Something like that. Perfect. Nope, not at all. Yeah, still way off. We still gotta come forward. Might be able to fix it. We gotta come forward a lot, actually. Yeah, just inch it up a little bit. Hard left. Yep. I'm gonna run the jack over. Excuse me. Now we can put the chain in. piston and pump. You're gonna get smushed. What do we want? Let's hit something. There. Alright. Fuel line's about to get destroyed. Let me grab that. This might be easier next time I go about doing a thing like this. Because, well, no, I got that other project. It's going to be just as difficult. But I do have that Ranger. Doing that should be sort of, kind of, maybe less difficult. I don't know. Alright. That back a little bit. Yeah. Oh, my block's still there. Really got to dig deep at this point. Oh, whoa, no, crap. I'm done. Well, I got the thing on. That wasn't so bad. It did involve safety glasses. Give this thing a little, maybe a big one. I don't know. I'm hungry right now, though. I do know that for a fact. Need to go get some food. Pulling a whole truck, so it'll make you hungry. Come on now. up against the block. Now, you know what? Move that forward. I'll go around back. That seemed to work more goodly. Whoa. My motor's like... Okay, well, that didn't sound good. That's probably fine. What is it? Oh. Okay. Ooh, yeah. I was kind of sitting on the header right there. What is going on down there? Alright, I can deal with that. It's hot in here. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to be right back. Well, I did get a lot done. Until the distributor didn't fit anymore because the intake's just a little bit different. So the fitting for the heater hose is moved over just slightly. Just enough to where the distributor wouldn't all the way go down in, which I had the HEI in it. So I went ahead and robbed the one off the V8 Ranger, which is that one right there. So HEIs, as you might know, are like this big, like they're all that. So, I mean, that's a slight exaggeration because it was, the edge of it was like right there, so it was hitting that before it would fully seat. Yeah, so that doesn't work very good. Sure, I could probably get another fitting, but HEIs are fine, but they're so big and they kind of get in the way. So this is still a performance distributor. It is a Mallory, I think. That looks like that's what that says. Unilite. I feel like this one's kind of old, but Ranger ran one parked, so that should work. Then the other issue I came across was those are the wrong plug wires. I was going to use the ones that came off of this motor, which is fine, but these are the 90-degree boots, which is also fine. I can work with that. So all I got to do now is I actually have to find my grommets, because the one where the wires come out right here is supposed to be a grommet right there, and it rotted out. So I got some wiring to do, but that's going to be a tomorrow problem. Alright, so new day. You figure out where to put this, because we're ditching the HEI and going back to coil. So we gotta figure out where to put that. I don't know. the more stuff you put on here, the less room you got, and it's pretty tight in here now. So I only have the one coil wire. Actually, I have two. I need to find the other one. See if maybe, possibly, I got one long enough to go put this on the firewall. That would be ideal. Or even the inner fender, also ideal. I don't know. They could go anywhere. They can go upside down if you want. It doesn't matter how you put them. But where you put them is kind of a big deal because, one, you got to be close enough to the distributor where you don't have to add too much wire, and also be able to have your coil wire reach. Then you got to have it where it's not in any kind of excessive heat. So we're going to try to figure that out, because I can't even remember where that coil went factory, because it's been a while since I've actually seen a factory 302 with a coil like that. So I'm going to try to figure something up there. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We'll move this over a little bit to like back there. We'll have that something like that. Actually, I can leave that there. Just drill a hole into this bracket. Yeah. That's how I had it on the Ranger. Or something like that. So that there should work just fine. Now I've got a little bit of drilling to do. Let's see. It's hollow right there. That's the line. That's that part of it, the face. So we got to make sure we're not drilling into that. And doesn't look like we're going to be. Yeah, I think that'll work out just fine. Go ahead and center punch that. Alright, so I got the hole drilled and the bolt in it. Now, for the next step before I get too far, I'll go ahead and put this basilisk resistor in there. I'm not real sure why you need it for running this particular distributor, but the Ranger had it, so I'm going to use it on this truck. And that'll go on there, something like that. Only the wires will be hooked somewhere. So anyway, this goes to key on power, and then this goes to the coil, the blue wire, to the positive side of the coil, that is, and then from the coil to the distributor. So probably the best thing to start with is just go ahead and get this mounted up, find a good spot for it, and then figure out which one's my key on power for the coil, which I believe is going to be yeah, I don't know anymore. See, I think this one, no, I think it's this one. One of these goes to the choke. What have I got going on there? I don't know what that is. That looks like something I might have done for a temporary solution, and then it became permanent. Because I don't use these heat shrink sleeves usually, ever. And that looks like it's just wire wrapped around another wire. So we might actually fix that now. Maybe. Alright, just about to start it up. Finally. Need a little bit of gas on the carburetor. And I think she's ready. Get this dirt off of this thing. Childproof. Now I heard that thing release some air. Should be coming out. There it is. Nope. Back. I'm gonna get up there. I figured I probably better stop there. Alright. I think that's everything. See what happens when I turn heat. Hard to get through here. I need to be ready to open the throttle up on this thing when it fires up to break in the cam. That ain't long enough. That ain't long enough. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and give it a little bit. I'm not worried, you're worried. I think our battery charger needs a little more juice. That might all do it. So, seems to have pretty good compression, or there's something worse happening. I don't think that's the case though. I'm gonna let that charge for a little bit, and then I'll be back in a second. Found a juice box. I'll hook that up. Got spark now. Apparently. But I think it's slightly up. Just a little bit. Alright, so yesterday, startup didn't happen. Didn't really go that great. Had a massive backfire that I didn't catch on video. I wish I did, because that was pretty spectacular. Big fireball. So, we're going to try it again. The distributor was pointed that way, and I need to go that way. So it's only out of time just a little bit. That wasn't terrible. It needs to run. It's not running. It's trying to die. I don't know why. That might have something to do with it. I'm just guessing. You know? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I will say this thing actually ran extremely good on 7 cylinders just now. Like, it was kind of hard to tell it was actually not. just so we know that they are in fact on. She started getting a little warm. You see that? That's, yeah, it's glowing a little bit. Okay, it's done glowing. I don't know what that's all about. It's kind of weird. I'm going to have to try to tune it first before we just fly straight into open throttle. Probably would have been a good idea to start with that, maybe. I don't know. I think that's going to do it for now until I get a few things straightened out, because this thing is, it's pretty hot. I should probably stop right now while I'm ahead. I'll probably start it up one more time, just trying to see what's going on, but it's got a cool way down. Don't have a temperature gauge again. Apparently the Equus I put in it last time, people that know gauges, the gauge doesn't work now, and it hasn't been a year, so I don't know. That's the third temperature gauge I've put in it. I don't know what's going on there. It should be reading right now, and it's not. Yes, it is hooked up. So, gonna do something about that. Don't know what. Probably have to get a temperature gun just to be on the safe side, because I don't trust any temperature gauges now. So, that's gonna be it for now. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.